Hillary Clinton about to deliver a speech on the economy in Columbus, Ohio, and she is not expected to go easy on Donald Trump. Mrs. Clinton plans to argue that Trump's economic policies would hurt working Americans and lead to a financial meltdown. The speech comes amid news that the Trump campaign is trailing Clinton in fundraising dollars, and just a day before a State Department IT official is scheduled to be questioned about Clinton's email practices. Let's bring in Richard Fowler, a Democratic strategist and radio talk show host, and Gianno Caldwell, a Republican strategist at Caldwell Strategic Consulting and former director of African American outreach for the DuPage County Republican Party. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here, John.
Richard, we mentioned in the last interview segment I did, when most people, when asked about the ability of each of these candidates on the economy, Donald Trump comes out on top. How does Hillary Clinton try to counter what is one of the key issues of any presidential campaign?
Right, there's no question that the American people are hurting, and this will be a key issue for this race. Like the president would say, it's the economy, stupid, right? And I think what Hillary Clinton's gonna have to do, this is her first big economic speech she'll give, and what she's gonna have to do is outline how she plans on turning this economy around and continuing the 72 months of consecutive job growth we've already had. Part of her plan would ask for the same type of infrastructure investment that we saw during the Great Depression in the 40s and 50s, that same percentage of infrastructure spending. And that's really important, because here's what we know. For every $1 billion you spend investing in building bridges, building roads, rebuilding schools, and building hospitals in this country, you create almost 40,000 jobs. Just on the first level, not to mention that it will empower small businesses, it will get folks and get the economy going in and rebuild confidence, and that's what Hillary's planning to do.
Didn't Barack Obama try that, though, with shovel-ready jobs?
Well, no. The problem with the stimulus package, and I say this over and over again, right, is that the stimulus package was too focused on middle-class tax cuts. And what happens is, in economics, tax cuts cost the government more than actually spending and investing in small businesses and having them build bridges and roads, highways, hospitals, and schools.
All right, let's get back to the topics of the economy. Gianno, does America want essentially another term from Barack Obama?
No, they don't. And when Richard said that there's been 72 months of consecutive job growth, we got to look at what those numbers really mean, because the Department of Labor issued a report last month saying that there were only 25,000 jobs added to the economy. So that's not the kind of job growth in which I deem appropriate. Further, the jobs that have been added to the economy have been low-wage jobs. So if you want to work at Burger King or McDonald's and you have a college degree, if that's what you want to do, then that's appropriate. But for many Americans, that's not what they want to do. Those jobs are generally for college students or high school students. So that theory that we would want, American people would want a third term of President Obama's job growth is absolutely not true.
So when Americans, pull the lever or, punch the card, Richard, are they going to see Hillary Clinton as an extension of Barack Obama's economic policies?
Well, no, I think Hillary Clinton's, where you're going to see a stark difference is that Barack Obama has been able to get a lot of stuff done because of gridlock in Congress. Hillary Clinton's going to hopefully bring in some coattails, take back the United States Senate, and really be able to move some huge bills that are usually bipartisan, like a transportation bill, like building bridges. Now, let me make one other point here, John, where I think where Gianno, I think, is incorrect, right? So, yes, last month's labor numbers weren't that good, but overall, if you look at the past 7 years of this presidency, we've created over 60 million jobs. Not to mention the fact that Mark Zandi, the former economic advisor to Mitt Romney, indicated that Donald Trump's economic plan would push our economy back into a recession that we've never seen before.
It bears repeating or pointing out, Gianno, that Barack Obama had a Democratic House and Senate the first 2 years
and that is exactly
of his
what I was
term.
going to mention.
And
exactly.
The voters responded to that by giving the House to the Senate and eventually, giving the House to the Republicans and eventually the Senate.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I think would continue to happen, because the American people want to see some bipartisanship, and they want to see a party that has created jobs. And when we talk about Donald Trump's his resume, he's created thousands of jobs. He's the only candidate in the race that has created thousands of jobs. And Hillary Clinton saying in her speech, which is going to be essentially he wants to give tax credits to the wealthy, he wants to send our economy into a tailspin, is essentially everything a Democratic candidate says when they're running for president. So I don't understand if she's getting this rhetoric rhetoric out of How to Run Against a Republican for Dummies handbook,
No,
or what?
Gianno,
It's just absolutely ridiculous.
She's getting this rhetoric from Mark Zandi, Mitt Romney's former economic advisor. All right.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I worked for Mitt Romney in 2012. There's a lot of Romney people who just don't like Donald Trump, and that's okay.
No, but it's not about, we're not talking about Romney, we're talking about Mark Zandi, one of the most accomplished economists in the country, who's indicated that Donald Trump's economic plan will plunge our economy back into the ice age. And Donald Trump's campaign has been non-responsive to this attack. They've been non-responsive because they know it's true.
No, there's other economists that have said other things. So you get 1,000 economists, you get 1,000 economists in a room, there's going to be different things said.
As Mark Zandi.
And you know what? I'll say this. Perhaps Donald Trump's plan isn't as golden as it should be, but he's getting ready to reboot his campaign, where he's bringing in advisors that can go beyond the rhetoric and provide
but this is more than
solid
advising.
policy
This is about fundamentally restarting our economy, and how you do that, every economist will tell you, is by making an investment in the American people and putting them back to work rebuilding America. That's exactly what Hillary Clinton would outline in the next 30 minutes. How we build bridges. Our roads are falling apart. Our airports are falling apart. Everybody's going to LaGuardia.
Exactly what Donald Trump has been saying.
You got to rebuild those airports.
This is exactly what Donald Trump has been saying from the beginning of his campaign.
No plan, though.
Absolutely. He's been saying this from the beginning of his campaign. So what you're saying, Hillary Clinton is going to save this.
Gentlemen, I'd love to continue the conversation, but we're going to have to leave it there. Richard, Gianno, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know that's what you say to your sons at home.